Danica Patrick finishes 19th today, 2 laps down. How did Bristol treat you this afternoon?
It's okay. Car wasn't perfect all day, but it wasn't terrible. It was a little loose all day, I feel. It was hard to attack the corner, so I was good off all day, though, which is kind of I think, always what you need, number one, so I had that. You know, would have liked to have been a little bit quicker, would have liked to have been able to pass some more cars, but we made it to the end this time, and perhaps that's what the Irish gave us for luck today. I'm not sure, but I think any of the short tracks that I do, if we can just get to the end and make some progress through the race, that's good. So, you know, I learned about running out there. I ran high, ran low, and, you know.
DJ and Andy talked before the race about this being one of the toughest tracks that any driver will run because of the mental difficulty as well as just the challenges that the track presents itself. What's your take on that?
It's definitely true. I mean, the moments that I was out there, even if I'd be in the middle of the corner, like re-gripping or something on the wheel and feeling like, I've got a little push, I'm going to slide my hands. I mean, in that moment, you lose it a little. So it takes absolutely, very, very consistent concentration to get through and not make mistakes. But I feel like that's probably something that comes a little more naturally to me, is the focus and the concentration. I just got to work on getting faster and qualifying further up the grid, and then just, getting a little bit of a better race pace. I thought after first practice we were looking good, but, we lost our way just a little bit, but that's that. So got the GoDaddy car to the finish, and we'll maybe retire this beautiful green car, and, congrats to Elliott. He's on a roll.
Yes, he is. Thanks, Danica. 19th today for Danica Patrick.
Well, Vince, Ryan Truex may have passed more cars today than anybody in the racetrack. You went all the way to the back by virtue of that little speeding penalty on pit road. Now, when you get to the back of the pack, we saw it last year, you come roaring through. Tell us about your day.
Every time I drive a Gibbs car, for some reason, at some point in the race, I end up in the back and have to come to the front. So it's a good learning experience, I guess, but I sped on pit road. My fault. Just got out of the box a little too hard and didn't see my speed. So apologize for that, but I had fun coming through. Got up to 6th, 7th, I don't know, racing Trevor there, and I just burnt my right rear off racing him. I think we had a top 5 car today. Just like I said, burnt the right rear off and couldn't get by him. But I got to thank Grind Boss. They're the first personal sponsor I've ever had, and to get them a top 10 their first race with Gibbs is really cool. Man, I'm just happy to be here. This is fun.
All right, what a great day for Ryan Truex. And by the way, early happy 20th birthday. He turns 20 years of age. Oh my God, I got socks that old tomorrow. Dave?
Well, with photo after photo being taken of Elliott Sadler in victory lane, car owner Richard Childress sees this place, sees the victory lane, and knows it's special. What does today mean to you?
Well, anytime you win at Bristol, it's great to win for One Main, Elliott, Luke. These guys just did a great job. Proud of our whole nationwide team. We're working as one big team, and couldn't be prouder of these guys.
I mean, you guys have been hot out of the box this year. Talk about the start they've had to the season. 2 wins now for Elliott, and just the strength of this team.
Yeah, I think what Luke and we've assembled over the winter, I think it's just been a great start. And Elliott believes, everybody believes in each other. We know that we can contend for that championship, and that's the goal.
Yep. It looks like he's organized a good bunch here and a odds-on contender for the championship this year. Alan?
All right, David, thanks. And Elliott Sadler and Richard Childress and the rest of the NASCAR Nationwide Series drivers, owners, and teams will move back across the country next weekend to Auto Club Speedway of Southern California. And that race on ESPN at 5 Eastern Time. Then it's on to Fort Worth, Texas after a weekend off. The short track in Richmond and Talladega. Talk about variety to open this season. We've had it and are going to have it.
Yeah, it continues to be, but these teams are really going to be looking forward to a little bit of time off, Andy, to kind of regroup, especially the ones that may have had a tough start to the season.
Yeah, they're going to have a couple of weeks off after the next one, and we'll see how it goes from there, but it has been an intense 4 so far.
A couple of things stand out to me from this day's race at Bristol. First of all, relative lack of cautions. Didn't even get the first one until the race was over a third old. Pretty clean race for Bristol. The track position strategy play that was made by Luke Lambert, and overall the efforts we saw on a part of a number of drivers. I still think Ricky Stenhouse Jr. drove the wheels off his race car today. Didn't get anything to show for it. And Elliott Sadler drove the wheels off his race car and did get something to show for it.
Yeah, and even though we may have come about it differently because you talk about the lack of cost, that's kind of the mentality that every driver since I've been coming here has had. Some are happy because they had a good day, they kept it out of the wall, and then you have others that led the race feel like they should have come out with more points and even a chance at winning and didn't get that. So it's kind of the same old Bristol, other than we see contact, but not necessarily the accidents.
Now, one thing I took away from this one, and I know the crew chiefs and for tomorrow's race will too, is the tire, how well it held up and how the premium is absolutely on track position. We saw that all day long. When Ricky Stenhouse had it, he drove away. At the end of the race, Elliott had it, and here he goes, cruising to the win.
With weather supposedly threatening, the radar cleared, the skies were beautiful, and we went green a little bit after 2:10 Eastern Time this afternoon, with Trevor Bayne starting alongside Joey Logano on the front row. Kyle Busch, one of the main players on the day, was seeking a 4th straight win here at Bristol in the Nationwide Series, and early on in that 54 moved up well.
Boy, it really looked like that they had solved a lot of their issues, taking the lead here, and it's just been a tough start to the season, but things weren't going to continue like that.
Yeah, they have solved a lot of their issues. Their cars were better, but they had that little hiccup and left the wheel loose, and it did cost them. But Danica, I think she had a pretty solid day. This is, like we talked before the race started, this is the toughest short track. And she struggled a little bit on short tracks, and to finish within 2 laps, I think is a good day for her.
Yeah, and 2 laps down here, as much green flag race we had, says a lot about her today.
Moment of the race, under caution late. Elliott Sadler's crew chief Luke Lambert says stay out, when almost everybody else on the lead lap did. Sadler chose the outside lane for the restart, got away from Casey Kane.
Yeah, and I think we saw, and Casey Kane said, and Elliott said it, that Casey Kane kind of helped him out, became his best friend there.
And Elliott Sadler showing you what winning at Bristol means to him. And continuing to take the pictures in victory lane. There's a lot that goes to winning one of these races.
Yeah, there is, but that doesn't get old, I promise you.
I'll bet not. So look at the full finishing order from today's 4th race of the NASCAR Nationwide Series season, with Elliott Sadler going 2 for 4, his 2nd win so far this year.
See, Dale Earnhardt Jr. comes away with the top 5 there.
Yeah, Kevin Harvick, kind of surprising to see him that far down in the top 10. I expected him to really challenge for the win, but didn't have a good day.
Trevor Bayne, heard from him, led a number of laps in this race. The strategy didn't play into his favor late.
How about Sam Horner? Spun out, hit a few things, still came out on the lead lap in 13th.
Got the free pass twice late in the going, by the way.
Yeah, Michael Annett with a great run there in 11th. He's had a solid start to the season with the new team.
Last time Kyle Busch finished outside the top 10 in 4 straight races, he won the next 3. We'll see what happens going to Southern California next week. Some of the other drivers who finished laps behind and struggled their way through the day, and those who failed to finish, including Kenny Wallace, Brian Scott, who went behind the wall with mechanical troubles. Saw Jeffrey Earnhardt's name on that finishing order. Didn't get a chance to focus much on him today with all the good action up front, but let's hear from the youngster who made his first start of the season today.
And we actually had 2 Earnhardts in the field today. Jeffrey Earnhardt, the grandson, of course, of the late, great Dale Sr., racing here for the first time in the Nationwide Series. Finished the race, brought it home 26th. What was your first impression of Bristol?
It was fun. You know, we didn't have the best car, but, you know, we took what we had, and we, like you said, brought the car home in one piece. And, you know, we'll take and, you know, just work for the next race. I think we got like 4 more races lined up this year, and we're just going to try and keep improving each one. And our main goal here was to finish and do the best we could, and that's what we did.
Good to see you back in the Nationwide Series. As you said, we'll see him 4 more times this season.
All right, Jamie, thanks. And as we wrap it up today here in Bristol, we look ahead. Coverage tomorrow of the American Le Mans Series. Mobil 1, 12 Hours of Sebring is on ABC at noon Eastern Time. Next weekend, our coverage from California of the Nationwide Series includes qualifying on Saturday, ESPN 2 at 1:30 Eastern. And the race is at 5 Eastern on ESPN. Race 5 of the season, the big, fast 2-mile track next Saturday.
Yeah, not a lot of grip to be had on that racetrack, but it is fast and fun and plenty of room to race.
And putting a button on today, a good strategy call, a good race car, and some hard driving.
That's all it takes here. Track position and a good car.
Crew chiefs make driver look good, can't you?
Okay, it works the other way, too.
Elliott Sadler celebrating his 2nd win of this season. And congratulations to he and the Richard Childress Racing Team on a job well done today. Sadler leading just 1 time for 35 laps, but he led the final 35. And those, of course, are the ones that count the most. So, next weekend, it's on to California. Up next, it's Sports Center. There's a little bit going on in the sports world. Catch up on it all next. Find out who's winning the tournament games today. And we congratulate our winner today, Elliott Sadler, here in Bristol. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Sadler tops in Thunder Valley today. The Sprint Cup race here tomorrow, and then it's on to Southern California next weekend. We hope you'll be with us.
It's flying jet fighters in a high school gymnasium.
Still with you.
Racing rocket sleds in a cereal bowl. Roller derby with race cars.
Bumper.
For 6 decades, we've tried to describe it, but it only takes one word.
Hell yeah!
Bristol.